Here are 5 things Jesus never said, even though many Christians act like he did. Not things people invented to mock him, things repeated in church, in conversation, in your own head, convinced they came straight from his mouth. And here's why this matters more than it sounds like it should. Every one of these 5 sayings replaces something Jesus actually promised with something smaller. Stay to the end, because the truth behind that 5th one isn't just a correction. It's the reason he came at all. And once you see it, you won't hear your own faith the same way again.
Number 1, follow your heart. You've heard it in movies, you've heard it in graduation speeches, maybe you've even heard it in church. It sounds gentle, it sounds wise, but Jesus never said it, not once. What he actually said was harder. Matthew 16:24. If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Deny himself, not follow himself. Because Jesus knew something we like to forget. The heart isn't always a reliable compass. It gets tired. It gets hurt. It gets talked into things that feel right in the moment and cost everything later. Following Jesus was never about trusting your own direction. It was about trusting his.
Maybe that's you right now. Maybe you're standing at a decision, and everyone around you is saying, just do what feels right. And it does feel right. That's the trap. Feelings are real, but they were never meant to be the final authority. Denying yourself isn't about hating who you are. It's about admitting your heart, left alone, doesn't always lead somewhere good. Think about the decisions in your own life that felt right at the time. A relationship you knew wasn't good for you. A choice you made because your heart was loud and God's word was quiet in the moment. Nobody plans to walk away from wisdom. It usually happens one small feeling at a time, each one whispering that this time is different. This time, your heart knows best. Following Jesus means holding your feelings up to something outside yourself, instead of letting them be the only voice in the room. And that leads to the next one, because if you can't just follow your heart, what about just chasing what makes you happy? Number 2, do whatever makes you happy. This one sounds harmless, almost obvious. Who wouldn't want to be happy? But search the Gospels, and you won't find Jesus promising a life built around your comfort. You'll find that same verse again. Deny yourself. Take up your cross. Follow me. That's not the language of chasing happiness. That's the language of laying something down. Here's what's easy to miss, though. This isn't a rejection of joy. It's a redefinition of it. Jesus wasn't against happiness. He was pointing past it to something that doesn't collapse the moment life gets hard. Temporary happiness depends on your circumstances. The joy Jesus offers doesn't. One is a feeling. The other is a foundation. Think about the last time something good happened and the feeling faded within a week. That's not a flaw in you. That's just what happiness does. It rises and falls with circumstances you can't control. Jesus wasn't asking you to give that up and feel nothing instead. He was offering something sturdier underneath it, something that stays intact even on the days happiness doesn't show up at all. Maybe you've chased that feeling through a relationship, a promotion, a new season of life, convinced that this time it would finally stick. And for a while it did. Then life kept moving, and the happiness moved with it, right out the door. That's not because you chose the wrong thing. It's because happiness was never built to hold that kind of weight. Joy can. Joy has already survived the worst thing that's ever happened to a person, the cross, and it's still standing. That's the difference between something that depends on your circumstances and something that doesn't. So, if happiness isn't the goal, and following your own heart isn't the plan, where does that leave you? Alone with your own effort? That's the next lie. Number 3. God helps those who help themselves. A lot of people are shocked to learn this isn't in the Bible at all. It's not Jesus, it's not Paul, it's not even a misquote. It's a completely different message wearing Scripture's clothes. Because what Jesus actually said runs in the opposite direction. Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Come to me, not pull yourself up first, then come to me. This isn't permission to be lazy or careless with your life. It's a correction to something deeper. The idea that you can save yourself if you just try hard enough. Jesus wasn't looking for people who had it together. He was looking for people who were tired of pretending they did. Maybe you've lived like your worth in God's eyes depends on how well you're holding it together. Like rest is something you earn after you've proven yourself. That's exhausting, and it's not what Jesus offered. He didn't say, come to me once you've helped yourself. He said, come to me weary, come to me burdened, come to me exactly as you are, still struggling, still falling short. Maybe you grew up believing faith was a performance. Pray enough, serve enough, look put together enough, and eventually you'd earn a little peace. That's not Christianity. That's exhaustion wearing a cross. The gospel was never help yourself and maybe God will notice. It was God noticing you before you had anything to offer and coming to help anyway. Rest isn't the reward at the end of enough effort. It's the starting point Jesus already paid for. Now, here's where it gets uncomfortable, because the next one is a phrase most Christians actually think is a direct quote, and it's the one most misunderstood. If you've been tracking with this so far, take a second to like this video and subscribe, and drop a comment telling me which one has surprised you the most. It helps this reach someone who needs to hear it too. Number 4. Never judge anything. People say this like it settles the argument. And here's the twist. Jesus actually did say something close to it. Matthew 7:1. Judge not, that you be not judged. That part is real. But that's not the whole sentence Jesus left us with. In John 7:24, he also said, judge with righteous judgment. Read both together, and the picture changes completely. Jesus wasn't outlawing discernment. He was outlawing hypocrisy, the kind of judgment that condemns someone else's sin while excusing your own. He wasn't asking you to pretend right and wrong don't exist. He was asking you to examine your own heart before you examine anyone else's. Judging with humility, not judging with superiority. That's the difference nobody quotes. Here's how you tell the two apart. Hypocritical judgment looks for someone to feel superior to. Righteous judgment looks in the mirror first and only speaks when love, not pride, is doing the talking. Maybe you've used judge not to avoid a hard conversation you actually needed to have. Or maybe you've used judgment as a weapon and called it discernment. Jesus left no room for either extreme. He left room for humility with clarity, which is a lot harder than picking a side. And both mistakes are everywhere right now. Some people use judge not as a shield to avoid ever calling anything wrong, even when love requires it. Others use speak the truth as cover for cruelty, mistaking harshness for boldness. Jesus modeled neither extreme. He told the woman caught in adultery, neither do I condemn you. And then, in the same breath, go and sin no more. Grace and truth, spoken together by the same voice. That's the pattern most people skip when they quote half the verse. And that brings us to the last one, the one most people never even think to question, because it sounds so kind. Number 5. Everyone is basically good.
It feels generous. It feels like grace. But Jesus said the opposite, and he said it plainly. When someone called him good teacher, he stopped them cold. Mark 10:18. Why do you call me good? No one is good except God alone. Think about that. Jesus wasn't being modest. He was making a point about all of us. This isn't Jesus saying you're worthless. You were made in God's image, and that gives you value nothing can take away. But value and moral perfection aren't the same thing. Jesus was drawing a line between how much you matter to God and how much you can save yourself by being basically good. One is a gift. The other was never true to begin with. And that's exactly why he came at all. Not for people who were basically fine, but for people who needed rescuing.
Maybe you've spent years measuring yourself against other people instead of against God's holiness. By that scale, sure, you might come out looking pretty good. But that was never the real measuring line. The moment you stop comparing yourself to people and start standing before God honestly, basically good stops making sense, and grace finally starts to. It's easy to feel good about yourself standing next to someone else's worst moment. Harder to feel that way standing next to actual holiness.
That's not meant to crush you. It's meant to free you from the exhausting job of trying to stay basically good enough. You were never supposed to carry that. Jesus already did. So here they are, side by side. Follow your heart. Do whatever makes you happy. God helps those who help themselves. Never judge anything. Everyone is basically good. 5 phrases that sound biblical enough to survive in church culture for years, and not one of them came from Jesus. Here's the question worth sitting with. Is your faith built on what Jesus actually taught, or on comfortable sayings that just happen to get attached to his name? Because the difference isn't small. One is a relationship with a real person who said real, specific, sometimes difficult things. The other is a reflection of whatever culture already wanted to hear. If this challenged something you've believed for a while, don't scroll past it. Sit with it. Open the verses yourself. And if you know someone who needs to hear the difference between what Jesus said and what we've assumed he said, send this to them today.